in a building where they've had 20, 30, 40 of these all going. No, they didn't. No. Do you want to take a seat back? Do you want to take a seat and go back to your seat? Yeah. Thank you very much. Well done. Okay, so what your husband would have done, you're right there, is that they would have received a message, and then an Enigma encrypted message that would have looked something like this. Okay, that would have come from the wireless stations dotted around the United Kingdom where they were listening into the German Enigma messages.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to break the cipher or decode the message, if you're going to do that using the bombe machine, you have to make a guess about what a small portion of your intercept was in its original plain German form. And a lot of the messages that the Germans were sending were very stereotypical, so that they were the same messages that were being sent out day in, day out, routine messages. And the one that we demonstrate on the bombe machine is an example of a weather report that was sent from a weather ship that the Germans had in the Bay of Biscay. And this weather ship used to transmit a daily weather report, or in other words, send a forecast of the weather that was heading towards continental Europe. So what the code breakers at Bletchley Park would have guessed was that somewhere in that intercepted message, the Germans had encrypted their word for weather forecast, which is Wettervorhersage.
Sure.
So the first thing that the code breakers at Bletchley Park did was had to establish whereabouts in this intercepted string of messages this word might be sitting. And John, you did mention the not ciphering as itself, didn't you?
Yes, I know.
Okay.
They told me about that.
They did? Oh, right. Okay, so we've got some excellent cryptosters here. They use that property that an enigma can't encipher a letter as itself to establish whereabouts this word might sit.
I understand weather.
Yes,
Weather.
But there's the two E's.
But,
two E's.
but
Yeah.
but
it's
my
not there.
husband didn't know German.
No, he wouldn't have needed to have done at this stage. This is just before the information would have come to him. But the code breakers, obviously this is not right because you couldn't key an E on the Enigma and get the E. So you basically keep sliding along. We've got two T's, that's no good. I'm going to cut a long story short, but basically when we get to here, we've actually got a good position. Now what Alan Turing wanted to do was to connect up all these individual pairs of letters to form a loop of letters.
I see.
What he was looking to do was to form a diagram that looked like this by stringing together the pairs of letters that you get off this. Okay, if you can see here, we've got a G going to an E, so we write G to E. Somewhere else along in our crib here, we've got V to E, so we write that. So we keep stringing our pairs of letters together to form this diagram, which went by the name of a menu. Now this menu gave the bombe operator all the instruction they needed in order to set up the bombe machine. So this diagram would have been phoned through to them at Eastcote, and he would have had to set up his machine to following this diagram here.
Yeah.
If you can see on the end of our model one there, I shall bring.
It's all so complicated.
Around the back of the machine, we've got a fairly complex circuit board with lots of letters on it, and your husband would have had to have used cables like this one to plug up a very complex electrical circuit round the back,
That looks like
following that. Had to be very accurate, because if you put the plug in the wrong socket,
Of course.
you're in trouble.
Yeah.
The other thing that he would have had to have done is to put the drums on the machine. You can see we've got drums on the top bank, we haven't got any on there. And these drums, can you see that they are
Yeah.
individual brushes
Yes.
consisting of
Yeah.
19 strands of